Did I ever tell you what the definition of insanity is? Insanity is doing the exact same fucking thing over and over again, expecting it to change. That is crazy.
365 days ago, I made this YouTube channel, and since that day, I have made what is now a yearly salary from leads coming to the business from the videos alone, as well as met my idols, creative idols, YouTube idols, whatever you might call them, and a countless number of friends. But before I even started, I heard the same thing over and over again.
I don't know if you've heard, but social media is free.
People think they need to learn more when really they just need to do more.
We probably put in like 40, 50,000 hours. I mean,
Wow.
We're talking like every day, all day.
And that's okay, because humans are meant to conserve energy. We're predisposed to laziness. 50 times more work than them. If you suck at cold calls, do more cold.
But it wasn't hard to understand. The more you posted, the more your videos had viral potential.
But I didn't want to chase clout and act like a clown on social media just to make a living. I already had something I'd love to do for work.
But maybe YouTube could help me leverage my experience and make more from what I call my career.
So, did I do it? Spoiler alert, yes, but it was all because of one offhand comment I saw on a random forum 3 months into the journey.
Hey, you. You're finally awake. You were trying to cross the border, right?
Although I had a small following from working in the marketing industry, it only yielded a few hundred views on the first videos. It was super frustrating. I was recording everywhere, had the camera everywhere I went, and I was putting in a lot of effort and resources to get the videos edited, but it was simply going nowhere, except multiple comments from my best friends and family. Complete side note, shout out to all my day ones for supporting and boosting the algorithm to get us to where we are now. But at some point, things changed and I thought I made what was another banger vlog, and then the worst happened. It flopped again. So at that point, I sort of decided, fuck it, I'm just gonna try one more format.
Let's go to the beach, eat, let's go get a wave. They say what they gonna say. Have a drink, clink, found a Bud Light. Bad like me, it's hard to come by. The Patron, let's go get it down. The sound, yes, I'm in the zone. Is it 2, 3, leave a...
Not actually, but I did hit my first semi-viral video. This video, it sparked overnight growth, and compared to the following that I had on YouTube before, it looked like YouTube would fulfill all the promises I heard from every other creator. Coincidentally, it was also the first video where I started working with a professional video editor and filmmaker to help create a better story and a better edit. And that's exactly when insanity took over. That's when I decided I'm going to invest incrementally more and more and more into each new video until hopefully the channel would blow up and yield some business. Editing, thumbnails, title strategies, short form promotion, everything was accounted for. I was taking it out of my pocket and putting it back into the channel. Everything I was making with the agency and with my business, everything would be cycled back into making more and better videos. Week in and week out, the team would post video essays. And that's when it really started. I could finally understand what real growth looked like. Thousands of views, tens of thousands on some days, and hundreds of DMs. This is when our first 100,000 view video was starting to take over. And what really caught me off guard was the massive saturation it had in our niche, in our pool of interests.
There's a gentleman called Gosha Dulgan, I hope I'm not butchering your name by the way, and he started making content of things he was interested in, such as personal branding and entrepreneurship. And in just 7 months, he already has 6,000 subscribers on YouTube. By the way, it took me, I think, 2 years to hit 6,000?
I kid you not, every single creator in the niche that I looked up to followed me and said that they liked the video. And that moment, it caught me off guard. It was insanity. It was a quote unquote good job kid moment for me. And at that moment, I realized there was absolutely no slowing down. But it also created massive pressure. Pressure in understanding that the people you look up to that have now become your peers are there almost week in and week out, looking in if you're putting in more effort, if you're putting in more quality, more knowledge to the people, or if you're just trying to fly by. But like with so many other things, one week you do great and the other week not so much. But then again, our commitment did not waver and the channel was growing, and it also yielded business, multiple $5,000 plus consulting contracts. Okay, this is where I want to pause for a second and talk about two major lessons that I learned from closing clients from the channel. Firstly, the channel massively profited from not taking on any partnership sponsorships or any integrations. There was zero early stage monetization even on the videos that did blow up. There was not a single video that I thought about, hey, how could we get as much views, drop as much knowledge as possible, but also make as much money. But at the end of the day, we just decided, let's give as much value, let's build as much momentum, and then prioritize how we can make money. But there's a second lesson, and this second lesson needs what feels like a whole other chapter to explain it. It is single-handedly the biggest social media life hack that I've heard, and it's completely changed my approach to social media. Basically, this comment on a random forum sort of said, fake it till you make it. And it went sort of like this, and again, I'm paraphrasing because I can't find the comment. To make a strong and fast-growing channel on YouTube, you should talk about people, projects, or brands that people already care about. Once you've retold their stories, campaigns, or lessons enough times and created enough of an audience, people will start asking you to share your own story. For days on end, I started scripting about every single creator that inspired me and taught me some lesson. And it actually made everything so much easier.
But the truth is, guys, is that everything comes at a price. Grew this channel at such a pace that I completely exceeded my own expectations when even starting this channel.
Consistency is the name of the game. Stacking successful weeks of training, week after week, month after month, and then eventually like year after year is how you really tap into like the potential of yourself as a runner.
I didn't need to run around with a camera trying to make moments or trying to make something that will go viral.
This is what we're gonna do, like we're gonna grab This is the most vlogger on earth, bro.
I just sat down and I talked about ideas that were native to me and also native to you, the audience. And I understood it because me and you, we consume the same thing. It is a much better encapsulation and summary of what I wanted to convey. The real truth laid behind this abstract idea of inspiration. See, it isn't just scarcity that makes Rolex a great brand. It is the legends who wore the watches decades ago. And for the consumerists among us, it is the success and the traditional vision of success. Slowly but surely, I started getting really great feedback from you. Comments that were praising, exploring the darker, the deeper sides of creators, founders, and those brands we really liked. And then one day, as I was scripting another video, I had an epic moment of realization that all this leads directly to a grand vision any creative studio has. I think very few gurus and influencers talk about what is really great on YouTube, and that's the fact that there's two sides to every single story. You have this beautiful creative audience that needs inspiration or sometimes smaller and cheaper products, and at the same time, you need to create these platforms that will market the bigger brands, the bigger founders, and the more high-ticket offers. There's these robust and bullet train style businesses that are growing, and someone needs to tell their story organically, almost with this Swiss-like neutral stance that doesn't get in the way of the viewer's experience. And I also realized that to tell my own story, I just need to leave a little bit of myself with creative choices, how I speak and what I speak about. In the next phase of this channel, it's all about mutual collaboration, creating products for the viewer, with the viewer, and investing into cinematic stories with the brands that we choose together. It's a collaboration. So if you are a founder and want to tell a great and cinematic story about your business or a project, or maybe even yourself, reach out to me via DM on Instagram, or you can find more info on my personal website, goshadolgan.com. For this last part, I actually want to talk about the business model behind the business. Obviously, we've praised so many people on the channel about building in public, whether it's Represent, Daniel Dalen, UVU, whoever it may be. So I think it would just make sense. It would make perfect sense to do the same and to show you the journey that we're going to be taking on. Obviously, I'm going to be going back and forth between the camera and the screencast and whatnot, so this won't take too long. Again, it can serve inspiration in terms of starting your own creative business or creative studio in whatever format. Here we go. Obviously, it's on the channel, and the underpinning, the underlining sort of fabric for all this is the channel. That's sort of, let's say, the biggest marketing funnel for the business and has brought us the most success this last year, just from the videos we've posted alone. The first project format that comes in the business is YouTube channel as a marketing platform, and this will be a new one. This is not one that we've thought about in previous years, just because we knew we needed to build up an audience, not just on personal profiles, but have something going for ourselves as a team of marketers, creatives, myself as a creative director. But basically, it's company stories and collaborations with founders that are selected by the audience. So a good reference for this is WAP. So obviously WAP is doing it as part of their own marketing, but they tell the story of these founders running their own businesses, and we would do the same. In those instances, I'm sure WAP puts up the budget for the videos, but in this case, because we want to go for Netflix style production, because we want to go higher and higher and get as cinematic as possible, part of the budget will have to be covered by the founders, because in a sense, what it will be is a marketing platform for the brands and the founders we're talking about, as they will be able to have this organic and very neutral point of view where I'll be, let's say, the interviewer, the person, the host, taking the viewer through the story. Now, the next project format is the creative campaign agency. We've been running this business for years now. It's basically company executive campaigns, whether videos, banners, advertising, offline, online events, whatever it may be. We do that with 37.com. I'm the creative director there. I'm also the founder. If you want to check out about what we do as our main business and the clients we work with and the projects we have, you can take a look over there too. Then the first one for the viewer, and I guess probably the last one, although there is one more that could be interesting to some of the viewers. It's product for inspired viewers. Basically, if I want you, like myself, one day to be able to take a look at a video and to say, holy, I want to be doing some of that. I want to be doing something very similar. I want to take on my creative journey. I want to start my business. I want to start my brand. I want to start putting up content, and hopefully products that we will be releasing, like the Notion OS that is coming very, very soon, will be specifically in help to achieve whatever your new goals and inspirations are. This will be sold on pretty much all digital platforms where I'm active or my companies are active, and it will be marketed on Instagram and YouTube. The reason I put down marketed on is so you can understand where to go and where to find more info if you wanted to, or reviews, positive or negative. And the last one is one-on-one creative consulting. Basically, that's consulting with individuals. I've been doing it since the start of this channel. Again, the first few instances, I wasn't even planning on doing it as a product. People were just coming to me and saying, hey, look, I love what you're talking about. I love part of your taste. I think you're creative in some different ways where I'm not so creative, so let's collaborate. Let me hire you to help me get a little bit more creative, a little bit more sleek, classier, whatever we're actually going for. It would depend on the project. And that will not be marketed. That is not something where I'm just going to be openly walking around with a sign like, hey, let's work one-on-one, just because there's very limited availability. But I did want to be, again, open, as that is part of the money we make through this channel. That's actually a significant portion of the money that comes from the views and people having interest in the stories we tell. So hopefully this has given you a little bit of an idea of what is going on behind the scenes and what we're going for. Yes, truly, I believe this is a multi-million-dollar business just from YouTube alone. Again, we're not going to be expanding into all these different ideas of topics on YouTube where it's like, let's talk about the next thing that will go viral. No, it's niche stories about niche people, about niche founders and brands. And hopefully there's so much recognition from the audience that people just want to buy our products because they are inspired and also work with us in that case. So I want to say a big thank you to everyone that supported me, especially my friends and my family. It's been a year of making videos on YouTube, and actually we are at, oh my gosh, we have so many. So in the last year, we've made about 35 videos in total. And since that time, just my life has completely changed. Things have gotten to be so crazy. I appreciate it so much, and I appreciate each one of you. If you're new, join us on the journey to 15K, and I'll see you very soon. Thank you.